Hi guys, composition is one of those things that, a lot of people struggle with composition. To get good at it, you need to shoot a lot. You need to edit your photos a lot. It's a process, but to speed up your process, I have put together 9 things that I believe is going to help you massively to improve your compositional skills. In a video I made recently, also about composition, I talked a lot about balance and some of the, visual guides or rules, compositional rules, if you want to call it that. I like to call it visual guides. Things that can help you balance your composition. It is, if you haven't seen it, I suggest after this video, you take a look at that. The link is in the description. But let's dive into those 9 things I think will help you improve your composition a lot. And the first thing is focal point. Try to have a clear focal point. Know what you're shooting. When the focal point is vague, the result is usually a compositionally weak photo. This photo might be a little confusing because it has the waterfall, which is the focal point. I was there to shoot the waterfall, but it also has a strong foreground element in the flower. So in this case, I guess I have 2 focal points, which is not uncommon, but the waterfall is my focal point and the foreground is to support that. And when you have a clear subject in mind, you need to look around you, because if you find a subject like a waterfall or something, you just put up a camera and shoot the waterfall. It's a snapshot. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want something more, you have to consider the scene around the focal point, your subject, because some elements in your scene, in your setting, actually help the viewer. Leading line, something that helps the viewer travel from one point of the photo to the focal point. And there's also things that can actually disrupt it. You know, it always calls some guy in a red jacket or something. It's just the viewer is always looking at that, and that's no good. So you need to be able to look at the scene and find elements that help, that support your focal point. And one of the things that actually can help with that are leading lines. There are leading lines everywhere. You just have to find them and find a way how to use them. It's not always that obvious. You can see patterns in snow, ripples in the sand, formation of the clouds even, northern lights. Using leading lines, curves, and geometrical shapes usually results in a visually pleasing composition. 3. Foreground. When I say to people, look for a foreground to support your background, people often look, they don't find it because they are looking for something big. Look for small, even insignificant things. Things you would miss probably if you weren't looking for it. Those hard to find foregrounds can really make your photo stand out because those foregrounds are hidden in plain sight. Strong foregrounds create depth in your photo, but be careful not to create depth for the sake of depth. For example, an ugly pile of rock, yes, it can be categorized as a foreground, but it doesn't necessarily look good. Separation. One of the most important things to create depth in your photo is to make sure you have separation between the elements in your photo. Like in this photo, it's a nice photo, but it is a little cluttered. By simplifying this and making sure I have separation between the components that make up for the photo, it just looks much better, like you can see here. Number 5, frame your subject. Natural frames are everywhere. It doesn't matter which genre of photography you're in, find them, use them. because a good frame results in a strong composition. Number 6, negative space. Negative space is the area surrounding your focal point which is left empty. In other words, it's the space around your subject that helps define the positive space, your focal point. To do this well requires practice because you still have to make sure your image is balanced. And with a lot of empty space, it can throw the visual scale off a little bit. Atmosphere. Atmosphere is the quality of the setting around us which evokes our emotions. Smoke, fog, dust, light, stuff like that can really help you set the mood and create otherworldly photos. With patience and a little luck, you can use those elements to frame your photo in a way nothing else can, making an impactful composition that evokes the viewer's emotions, and that is essentially what we are trying to do. Number 8, fill the frame. Filling the frame is one of the most simple and underused type of shooting, and maybe it's because people are always looking for some big drama in their photos. But even if this is not your style of shooting, make a habit of ending each shoot with a photo like that. Put on your long lens and shoot tight, fill your frame. It gives you more variety of photos, and you very often end up with something even better than you came for. Balance. Getting a balanced photo is perhaps the most important thing in composition. There are of course exceptions, but the general rule is unbalanced photos are weak. Is the photo left, right, top, bottom, heavy on one side and light on the other? Then it's not balanced, and then you need to adjust your composition to fix that. Centering your subject can create really nice balanced symmetry in your composition. There's a rule I hear sometimes that you should not do that. You should not center your subject. I don't agree with that, but like with everything, it has to be done right. With balance, I spent a lot of time talking about balance in the last compositional video I did. Take a look at that. It's the link is in the description. It's the same one I mentioned before. So things that are not necessarily on the list, but it will help you. For example, be on time. Don't hurry. When you get to a location, don't pick up your camera. Don't be stressed out because you're losing your light. Be on time. Walk around. Find your photos. It's much easier to walk around either just with your camera, put on the live view, you can look through the camera, or you can also use the cell phone to do that, to look for your frame. Because especially if you're shooting on a tripod, people get lazy. They're always shooting it at a comfortable level. That's no good, because comfortable level is not necessarily a good place for it. So use your camera off the tripod or your iPhone or something. So people used to do that before iPhones. You can do that. It doesn't look ridiculous at all. So go low, go high, go vertical, find your frame. Overthinking your shot is not necessarily a good thing. If you got some vibe, some mojo going on, some nice atmosphere, you want to shoot. If there's a fog which might disappear, or you got amazing light that might disappear, or in some of those photos I showed you, which are not landscape but more like people travel shots, you don't have the luxury of time. And I said it before and I say it again. Landscape photography is the easiest genre of photography to get proficient in composition because of time. In other types of photography, you don't have the luxury of time. So shoot, adjust, shoot again, adjust. Don't get overly hung up of getting a single frame 100%. And also, you can always crop the photo. So My advice to you is to shoot a little wider than you think you might actually need, because you can always crop. You cannot crop up, so you're done if you're too tight. So that's it basically for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took something from it. I do guarantee that if you take those tips, this and in the previous compositional video I linked down in the description, you will get better. You will improve your composition fast. Having said that, go out and practice. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.